Hey everybody, and welcome to our video today. My name is Anna Johnson and I'm really excited to be showing you some materials from the Enduring Faith Religion Curriculum student books. Today we're going to look at the same lesson for 3 different grade levels so that you can see the structure of the lessons, but also how these lessons build upon each other year after year. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that one of the big points we've tried to make with this Enduring Faith curriculum is that the learning grows and spirals over time so that students are building upon prior knowledge, but also so that everybody at your school is learning the same thing at the same time. So we'll jump right into it here with our preschool student book. I'll also show you grade 1 and grade 4 so you can see some of the differences and also similarities. So each of the first sessions, the first pages in the student books will look very similar. It will have some sort of picture of the Bible narrative, a recap of the actual biblical text, and then this text down here will change depending on what the grade is and how the student would interact with that. So for a preschooler, we're not expecting them to read the lessons themselves. So the text is more based on how the teacher would teach it. And then the leader guide has some things that the teacher would use to bring out and have some discussion for your little ones in preschool. Then the second session focuses on how to take that Bible learning and apply it to the student's everyday life. So when we're thinking about this account of the Transfiguration in this lesson, one of the things we want the preschoolers to think about is how they should listen to Jesus, just like Peter, James, and John listened to Jesus. So the pictures here will show different ways that students can be listening, whether it's at school, at home, or at church, and then just ask them to do some basic activities, some coloring, and then also interact with their stickers that come with their lesson. And then it also has the memory words for the student in this section at the bottom here. As we go through the subsequent grades, you'll see that these memory words are a little bit different. Again, this was intentional so that students can build their knowledge of what's in the Bible while still reflecting on those same themes and same stories. So let's jump right in. Here is 2 grades up to grade 1. So you can see the narrative looks very similar, but if you read it closely, there's different ways that we talk about it depending on how a first grader would interact. They're probably a little bit more ready to be reading on their own or with a helper. So it's making sure to talk about the lesson in a way that is good for them to be reading and growing in those skills. You'll see page 2 looks a lot different. So whereas with the preschoolers, you were drawing out the aspect of the Transfiguration about listening to Jesus, this is focusing on the part of the story that's more about seeing God's glory, what that looks like in creation today. So it starts with some different activities to get the students thinking. This one is focused especially on seeing God's glory in the world that He has made. So it's talking about trees and animals and how we can see the wonder of God's design in those things. And then towards the bottom here gets even more opened up by asking the students, what do you see that's amazing? Again, trying to draw out how God shows us all these amazing things. And then you'll notice here, this is a little bit more in depth of a memory verse, not only so students can build upon their vocabulary, their library, but also their knowledge of all the different places in God's Word where you can learn. We'll do one more example here. Here is the grade 4 student book. So you can see we're starting to look a little bit different here. The narrative is shortened, but then it has a more in-depth activity about how to actually start getting into the Bible to read the narrative. And then some thinking and discussion questions to help them dig a little bit deeper than they did any of the previous times they learned about this lesson. Then as we get to their kind of life application page, you can see it's a little bit more text heavy, a little bit different types of activities, breaking down these little parts by verses, getting students to learn how to take each verse at a time and apply it to their daily lives. Then it has a summary here for students, and then you can see this is the same verse, but it's more of that verse compared to the previous ones we had, so that they can keep on learning no matter how young or old they may be. Thanks so much for watching this brief overview of our student materials for Enduring Faith. If you would like to download these samples for any of the grades we have available, just visit cph.org/enduringfaith, and you can download whatever you're looking for as a sample. Thanks so much, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Bye, everybody.